Hello everyone, welcome to Marcus Coding class. Today we're going to be continuing a video stickman fight stickman fighting game. This is the report we made in the last video. This part 2. It's a 3-part video and this is what we're trying to make. And the last video I accidentally said we're going to create a CSS part. In this video I was wrong, I'm so sorry. This is the JavaScript, half of the JavaScript part. So without any further ado, let's kick into it. So this is what we did last time when we in part 1 of the video. So we're just gonna open a new file, save that as script.js, and then we move back to our HTML file, scroll down to the bottom and say script source. That's going to be script.js, and we're going to save, and then we're going to go to our JavaScript file and say const canvas equal to document dot query selector canvas as the canvas we're selecting, and then we're gonna say const c equal to canvas dot get context, and that's going to be 2D, and then we're gonna say canvas dot width, that's going to be equal to 1024, and canvas dot height, that's going to be equal to 576. And to make a CR background, I'm gonna say c.fill style equal to black, and then we're gonna say c.fill rect, that's gonna be 0 0 canvas dot width and canvas dot height. So if we save that, move back in and refresh, now you see this is looking like this. So let's continue. So right over here we're going to create a class called stickman. We're going to say class stickman, and then we're going to give it a constructor of position, and now I'm going to say velocity. I'm also going to give it a color. By default it's going to be green, and then we're going to give it an offset property for the sword. So we're going to say this dot position equal to position, and this dot velocity equal to velocity, and we're going to create a width. This dot width equal to 50, and this dot height equal to 150, and then we're gonna say this dot last key, which is a function we're going to create in the next video. I'm just gonna leave it blank, and then I'm gonna say this dot sword I'm gonna give this equal to a function. I'm gonna call its own. It's gonna have its own position, and that position is going to be as an x. The x is going to be this dot position dot x, comma, and then we're gonna say y. This dot position dot y, and then we're gonna say offset, our offset property, not here, right here, offset, and that's going to be, oh yep, it's right in here, sorry. I'm gonna say offset, that's going to be equals to offset, comma, and then we're gonna say width, just width, that's going to be 100, and height that's going to be 50, and that's it. So right down here we're gonna say this dot color equal to color, and this dot is attacking, that's going to be a function we're going to create in the next video. And then we're going to leave it blank, and I'm going to say this dot health, we're going to say it's going to be 100. That's also, we're also going to be creating that in the next video. And that's it. So we need to create a function that we can use and create our player. So we're going to call this create, and then we're going to say c.fill style equal to this dot color, so the color can be dynamic, and then we're gonna say c.fill rect, and that's going to be this dot position dot x, and that's, we're gonna say this dot position dot y, and this dot width, and this dot height. And then we need to draw something for our sword. We need to create something we need to draw for our sword. So we're just gonna put it here, sword. I'm gonna say if is attacking, if this dot is attacking, if it's equal to true, we're gonna say c dot fill style equal to red, and c dot fill rect, and that's going to be this dot sword dot position dot x, and this dot sword dot position dot y, and this dot sword dot width, and this dot sort dot height, and then we're done with the if the sort class and the flow create function. So we're gonna go down here and create another function called update. Right here, I'm gonna say update, then we're gonna say this dot create, so we're calling the create function in update also. So I'm gonna say this dot sort dot position dot x minus this dot position dot x plus this dot sort dot offset dot x, and then we're going to say this dot sort dot position dot y minus this dot position dot y. And then gonna go down here and say this dot position dot x plus equal to this dot velocity dot x, and this dot position dot y plus equal to this dot velocity dot y. And then right down here we're gonna create an if statement. I'm gonna say if this dot position dot y plus this dot height plus this dot velocity dot y is less than or equal to canvas dot height, and then I'm gonna say this, then this dot velocity dot y equal to 0. Else then we're going to say this dot velocity dot y plus equal gravity plus equals gravity. So let's go up here and create that gravity function. We need something to be pushing our players down like they're falling, and then we're gonna say const gravity equal to 0.5, and that's it. So let's continue. Let's go back right here, and then we're gonna say strike. That's a strike function. And then we're going to say this dot is attacking equal to true, and set timeout equal to this dot is attacking. We're going to set it to false, and then that's going to be within 100 milliseconds. And then I'm gonna say not strike, and then we're gonna say, let's scroll down, this dot is attacking equal to false. Then now we can start creating our player and player 1 and our player 2. So we're gonna say const player 1 equal to new stickman, and then we're gonna give this a position, and then we're gonna give it x-axis of 0 and y-axis of also 0, and then giving it velocity. We're gonna give it a velocity, and then we're gonna say x-axis will be equal to 0, and the y-axis will also be equal to 0. And then I'm gonna say color equal to green, and then I'm gonna say offset, that's the sword, x, we're gonna say x will be 0, and y will also be 0. So we can copy this and change this to player 2, and then the position is gonna be 400 on the x-axis, and on the y-axis it's gonna be 100. The velocity is exactly the same, and the offset will be -50. The color is gonna be alien color, but I'm gonna put it as aqua. And if we save and refresh, this is not going to show unless we put a draw function, a create function. Then we're gonna say player 1 dot, we can say create, but we're going to use this in more other ways. So we're gonna say player 1 dot update, so we can use it again. And right below here, I'm gonna say player 2 dot update. So if we save, go back and refresh, I see our players like this, right in the position, but they're not falling. So let's continue. So right here, I'm gonna create some key functions. So I'm gonna say const keys. We're going to complete this function in the next video, but let's do this for now. A equal to pressed. We're gonna say pressed equal to false, and we can copy this and do this for the rest per comma, and then you copy this, paste, we just need 4 and S, and then I'm gonna say arrow right, and also arrow left. And then we're going to create a function that we can use to detect a collision when our swords meet. Right here, I'm gonna say function dot, and then I'm gonna say collision, and then I'm gonna say sword 1, that's gonna be player 1 sword, and sword 2, player 2 sword. And then we're gonna say return sword 1 dot sword dot position dot x plus sword 1 dot sword dot width is less than or equal to sword 2 dot position dot x, and we're gonna say and sword 1 dot sword dot position dot x is less than or equal to sword 2 dot position dot x plus sword 2 dot width and sword 1 dot sword dot position dot y plus sword 1 dot sword dot height is greater than or equal to sword 2 dot position dot y, and sword 1 dot sword dot position dot y less than or equal to sword 2 dot position dot y plus sword 2 dot height dot height. So we created a collision for our sword. We've created collision, so if our sword touches, we know what to do. But we haven't created our sword touches, and we're gonna do that in the next video. So now, the thing we need to do is a timer for our display timer right here. That counts down for us. That's going to be over here. And then we're gonna say let's timer equal to 60 seconds, and we're gonna create a function called decrease timer, but DEC for sure. Decrease timer, and then inside that function we're gonna say if timer is less than 0, then we're going to say set time out decrease timer, put a comma, that's gonna be 1000 milliseconds, and then over here we're gonna say timer minus, and then we're gonna say document dot get element by ID, and then we're gonna say timer. Then we're gonna say inner HTML equal to timer. And then down here we're going to say if timer equal to 0, then we're going to say triple equals document dot get element by ID result. That's what we say. That's what we give an ID as right here, results, and timer results. We're gonna say style dot display equal to flex. And then I'm gonna say if player 1 dot health equal to player 2 dot health, then we're going to say document dot get element by ID, and then we're gonna say result dot inner HTML, and then we're gonna say equal to tie. And then we're gonna say else if player 1 dot health is less than player 2 dot house, and then we're gonna say document dot get element by ID result dot inner HTML equal to player 1 wins, and then we can copy this and do the same thing for player 2. We'll change this to player 2 dot health, this to player 1 dot health, and then we can say player 2 wins. And then right at the bottom over here, we're gonna say decrease timer, and then we're gonna call that function. Go back here and refresh. Now you see our timer counts down. That's the only thing that's working for now. And let's make it a little shorter so we can test it out. 10. Let's make it 10 seconds. And refresh. And then if it hits 1, it's gonna show this tie here, but because we are actually tied right here, and we can't do anything because our players are not yet ready in action, which we're going to do in the next video. So this is the end of this video. I hope you like, subscribe, try to move this on your own, and hit the notification bell so if I post any videos you'll be first to know. My name is Micah, and this is Micah's coding class.